Recently, I purchased one of Fender's Amazon debut Squire Telecaster models, which has been of particular interest to some folks. Now, in weeks to come, I'll be constructing my own custom shop Telecaster style guitar that may equal the Fenders that I have here in the studio, but at a fraction of the cost. So, before I do that, in this video, I'm going to be taking this entry-level Squire debut guitar and using many of the custom build parts purchased for my custom project. I'm going to upgrade this budget Squire Telecaster, and all of this achieved within the ability of most folks using basic tools. Hello viewer, my name's Stu. Please do check out the rest of my channel as it covers my return back to playing and recording guitar after a 40-year break. Now, a big thank you to all those who take the time to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share and comment. Doing all those things, it really helps to build the channel, so thank you for that. And very shortly, I'll be doing a competition for the Fender Squire debut Telecaster. Recently, one of the channel viewers received a Gibson Epiphone SG, so do stay tuned. Now, coming up, number one, a quick reminder of what this guitar is and what I'm going to do to it. And number two, let the upgrade begin, watch it quickly stripped down and rebuilt. Number three, how does it sound and how does it compare prior to being upgraded? A side-by-side test. And number four, conclusion, is it worth doing? So without further ado, number one. Now, if you've not seen my previous video on the Fender Squire debut Telecaster, then I do suggest you take a good look at that. I put a link below. And of course, you can find it on my channel under the unboxing playlist. So without repeating all the details, it's enough to say that at £129, this is an entry-level guitar under the authorization of Fender. All in all, it's a nice little guitar for the money, and my only negative comment would be this was poorly set up and it needed to be adjusted and intonated, something a beginner really shouldn't have to deal with. And regardless, that learning to set up a guitar clearly is very much worth learning. What I'm going to do is upgrade this guitar using high quality parts just to see how much improvement can be made, but ultimately the question at the end of the day is going to be, is it worth doing? Now, I'm going to be replacing the pickups with Fender Custom Shop Texas Specials, a Fender string-through body bridge plate with go-to brass compensated barrels and rear body furls. I'll be fitting a fully loaded Custom Shop Telecaster control plate, a pearl pickguard, and I'll be sanding down the back of the neck and polishing the fretboard. I was going to change the plastic nut, but more on that later. So number two, let's begin the upgrade. To begin, I remove the strings using my trusty Ernie Ball Power Peg motorized winder, cutting the strings once slack with a pair of sharp cutting pliers. Removing the scratch plate, care needed not to scratch or mark the guitar body finish, as it is easily marked. Removal of the control panel is next. Moving to the bridge plate, the Fender string-through body plate that I'm going to be fitting is shorter than the Squire debut plate. However, I will be aligning the plate so that the pickup positions do match. Using painter's masking tape so as not to leave a sticky residue, I'll mark off the existing plate position before removing it. The rear retaining screws are under the saddles, so some of these need adjusted out of the way just to enable screw removal. Lifting the plate off, we see the earth wire which sits under the metal plate. Now for this video, I'm simply cutting all the wiring as I'll be putting it all back together again once I've demonstrated this particular upgrade. I'm using tape to do that with the appropriate details as to what wires belong where. Removal of the jack socket is next, and for this I've opted to desolder the wires and taking note of colour coding used for the hot and the ground wiring. With the body now stripped, I check to make sure my upgraded control plate fits without the need for any alterations to the body. And I do the same again with the bridge pickup, checking with the plate in a loose position. The 4 bridge fixing screw holes are marked and drilled, taking care to drill out only to the required screw fixing depth. Fitting the plate in place to make sure of correct alignment with the masking tape, and now using a pilot drill to mark the 6 holes that will be required for the strings. Once marked, the plate is removed, and using a portable stand drill and a block of wood under the guitar body to help minimise any splintering damage when the drill does break through the guitar body finish. Turning the body over, the holes will need countersunk to enable the fitting of the 6 string ferrules, and those will be put in with the aid of a mallet. As you may notice, these are not as perfectly aligned as I would have liked, but when you have 6 holes in a line, you do tend to notice if one is just not quite correct. So care needs to be taken when doing this. So before the guitar is put together, this is a good time to sand the neck, starting with 400 grit paper. Now I don't feel any need to tape off the headstock or the neck pocket area because of the approach I'm using and the type of neck this is. So using firm but gentle strokes, working up and down the neck, sanding away all the glossy areas, which you will see if you do this in a good light. Next up is 1500 grit paper and the same procedure as before. And once done to my satisfaction, a quick rub down with a cloth. With the neck feeling really nice and smooth, it's time to give the frets a better polish than I did previously, and for that I'm going to be using fret guards by Nomad and an abrasive rubber. A quick and easy way to polish up frets, and without doubt this neck is now feeling much better in the hand. Time for the electrics. So here we have the pair of Fender Texas special pickups, and the first thing to do is fit the bridge pickup, and the height setting that can get sorted later. The earth wire is put back into position and the plate is secured to the body using the existing Squire W screws. In regard to the 3 unsightly holes now visible due to the shorter Fender plate, well, I've just put some floor tacks into them as they fit perfectly. As this guitar is going to be put back together with its original parts, this is really a moot point for me for this video. The neck pickup is next, and once again the height is generally set in position. This will be sorted later. Feed the wires through to the control plate body cavity, and now time to remove the masking tape from around the bridge. Refitting the jack and checking over the wiring diagram. Now there are many pickup wiring videos on YouTube should you get stuck if you're replacing your pickups. Once I've soldered all the appropriate wiring connections, it's time to test everything, and a simple method is to take something like a screwdriver and tap gently on the pickups as you go through each selector setting and the testing of the volume and tone controls. And after everything is fitted down in place, check again in case a wire becomes disconnected. Next up is the go-to brass compensated saddles, and again these are just roughly set in position. We'll deal with this later. The control knobs are fitted, as is the plastic selector switch tip. So I fitted Ernie Ball 9-gauge strings, giving the guitar a reasonable setup, although it could do with a bit more attention. I have purchased a new pre-cut bone nut for the guitar, but unfortunately it needs a bit of work to get it to fit properly. Now I'm a bit short on time for this video, so I will be using the original plastic nut, but at the end of the day we get to hear what all the new upgraded parts sound like and how it feels like to play. So number 3, how does it sound and how does it compare before the upgrade? So to demonstrate using the Blackstar 6L6 amplifier as in the original video, I'll play some chords and single style notes clean with some reverb across the 3 selector positions, and I will put both guitars in a side-by-side comparison. So neck pickup position 1, Squire debut. Position 1, upgrade. Position 2, Squire debut. Position 2, upgrade. Position 3, Squire debut. Position 3, upgrade. And now adjusting the amplifier controls for a moderate overdrive tone with reverb, I'll demonstrate a few tones and general riffs. So various positions, Squire debut. Position 1, upgrade. Position 2, Squire debut. Position 2, upgrade. Position 3, Squire debut. Position 3, upgrade. Now, keeping the controls the same, I'll now demonstrate the addition of a TC Spark Boost pedal. So, various positions, Squire debut. Position 1, upgrade. Position 2, Squire debut. Position 2, upgrade. Position 3 Squire debut. Position 3 Upgrade. For those interested, you can see my review on that TC Electronics Spark Boost pedal. Number 4, conclusion, final remarks. Right out of the gate, this guitar definitely feels more comfortable to play, and that goes for any guitar with a sanded neck, polished frets, and a smooth fingerboard. The plastic nut has been cut too low at the G string and could do with being replaced. I just didn't have time to do that this time round. The Fender Squire bone nut that I ordered does need a fair bit of sanding and shaping to fit correctly. Fitting that would certainly improve string action and eradicate the slight G string buzz. I chose not to change the original machine heads because they actually do a pretty good job. The Fender Custom Shop Texas Special pickups cost more than the guitar, and it's no surprise that they have greatly improved the tone, sustain, and overall general dynamic punch. Now, helping that along is without doubt the better quality brass saddle arrangement, keeping string frequencies nice and tight, thereby improving sustain. Does the higher quality loaded control plate help? Some will say yes, others will say perhaps not. It's an involved subject. At the end of the day, if fitting expensive pickups, it would seem a false economy not to match them with appropriate electronic parts, considering they're not that expensive. As mentioned before, if you can get good quality parts and pickups at a very good price, second-hand, along with sanding the neck and replacing that plastic nut, then this guitar, like most guitars, will certainly benefit from those changes. However, is it worth doing? Yes, this guitar feels and plays, it's much more comfortable, and of course it sounds better, but it certainly does not have the feel of a high quality instrument, and therefore, if you're looking to move on in your appreciation of a better quality guitar, then I would say save your money and look into other possibilities. Now, for those who've been playing a while and would now appreciate a higher quality guitar, one of the choices open to you could be a self-build project, but I would say don't enter that lightly. For me, matching a high quality neck with a fully dressed fretboard matched to a body where the wood has its own resonance, for me that's the core of the instrument. So pickups and accessories can always be changed out, and in the coming video series you will see how I went about building my own custom guitar project where I aim to match my Fender Custom Shop guitars but at a much lower cost. So this Fender Squire debut Telecaster will be put back most of the way it was. As mentioned, one of the channel viewers received a Gibson Epiphone SG recently, and this Squire debut guitar will also be heading out to someone out there. I'll confirm a competition for that very soon. So do help me get those channel figures up, as I do have other guitars I've reviewed to give away, and I'll keep you informed about those. Coming next, the Custom Build Project Part 1, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. All the parts and accessories are here now, and I'll be building that guitar in real time where lacquer and paint finishes need to be left to cure, so that's why the videos will be done in parts. I hope you've enjoyed this video and perhaps it's been helpful for some. Do think about subscribing, hit the bell to get notifications, like and share as always. It really does help the channel out. And do check out my channel playlists, which cover my journey back to playing and recording guitar after a 40-year break. lots and lots of equipment reviews as I seek out the gear that I do use in my recording sessions. So whether you're a newcomer, an ongoing player, or like me, just an old hand returning to guitar playing, I always take time to engage with folks who take time to comment. So until next time, the journey continues. Do take care.